Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Annie and this is Unity Consciousness. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'd like to recognize our new subscribers since the last video and also thank those of you again returning this week for the energy update. Let's get started. We do have a bit of a doozy this week when it comes to energy. It's very feisty energy and intense. It may be a snapshot into the energy I do believe that we will be feeling very intensely in the month of July. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the breakdown of the 3D reality and what's no longer supported and some of the things that we're going through relative to the transits that are currently and will be with us for an elongated period of time. I did drop a video yesterday. I can put a link to that in the description box below. Regardless, today's energy calls for patience and self-care. So please be patient with yourself first, and also self-care for yourself first, then for others. Today, Mars, which is in the sign of Leo, is going to square Uranus in the sign of Taurus. This is very jolting, surprising circumstances that come in from out of the blue, from nowhere. Mars, the planet of assertion and aggression, also rules knives, sharp instruments, surgery, that type thing. And Uranus, which we've talked about before, is bringing us up to speed. It's the higher mind. It's trying to pull us to a circumstance that we've otherwise not wanted to be in or just avoided being in, and Uranus gets us there immediately. But in addition to that, it's electrical. It's things electrical. And in the sign of Taurus, it can be earth events as well. So we're just going to be mindful of that. Now, this square, coupled with the heightened Neptune energy, because Neptune on Friday is going to go retrograde in the sign of Pisces, further intensified with Mercury entering Cancer tomorrow, can really lead us to a place of emotional communications that lead us to a place of humility or a process of humility. Just before Mercury goes into the sign of Cancer today, it goes into Cancer tomorrow, but today, before it goes in the sign of Cancer tomorrow, it is going to square Neptune. That is getting, again, heightened power and energy, because it's getting ready to go retrograde. It is going to square Neptune in Pisces. So this element adds, confusion, disillusionment to that Mars-Uranus square. Please slow down. Uranus wants us to do things really quickly, and Mars wants us to do things very aggressively. So just please slow down. Or if you have to use a knife for some purpose, be mindful. Check in. Be present, certainly, before you get behind the wheel of a car. Be present. Be aware. Make sure that your mind's not everywhere and anywhere else other than the task certainly at hand. So presence is key here for sure. I also, in sitting with this energy, it's going to be ego adjustments as well. So unhealthy egos can really be prominent and or ready for some adjustments. Recognizing that the world does not revolve around us is a theme here as well. And the realization could come, again, out of the blue. Could be a comment that someone else makes, or very sharp comment, again, pointed, Mars energy. But be kind, be compassionate. Neptune in Pisces energy is all about compassion, retrograde or not. It is all about compassion. And, I get Mars in Leo, that's heart-centered energy, so we can tap into that as well. So be compassionate. If you are a witness to these circumstances happening, just tap into your compassion. Be kind. please. The promise of Uranus is the adjustment that's made, especially in the sign of Taurus, that will provide us stability. So if there's an adjustment that occurs relatively quickly, just know the long-term goal here is stability. But equally, it can free us from something, because Uranus wants to free us from something that has become dysfunctional and that we need to step away from. Because we've got this square between Mercury and Neptune, there could be some disillusion here that needs to be broken through. These are all very good things to allow us that freedom and stability that we so desperately need. Now, if your nervous system is already on overdrive, because this is, like I said, it's really feisty energy, be aware. Awareness is key here. Be in the moment and pay attention. Please be mindful of your peace, your space, your health. Ground yourself as best you can, and try to thwart impatience when you feel it coming on. As I mentioned, be careful if you get behind the wheel of a car or on a bike, because accidents, this is the thing that accidents are made of, right? When our mind isn't where it needs to be, and then all of a sudden something happens very, very quickly. It is forward-moving energy, but again, it's very intense energy all at the same time. Decompress for sure when you need to. Now, Tuesday and Wednesday, depending on where you're at on the planet, Venus in Leo, which is, again, Venus is pre-retrograde shadow. She's in shadow, is going to trine Chiron in Aries. I really like this, because the energy that is prominent Sunday and Monday is going to have meaning to us from a healthy perspective come Tuesday and Wednesday. And this is part of the Venus retrograde cycle. Remember, Venus is going to go retrograde on the 22nd of July. So with this being in pre-shadow, we're going to be revisiting this energy, not only this time, this week, but we will be revisiting this energy 2 more times over the course of this Venus retrograde cycle. Remember, the Venus retrograde cycle, again, in my opinion, when I sit with this energy, is all about what and who we value, because they are reflections of ourselves. So what does your self-value look like to you? Use the external, the who and the what that we are attracting to ourselves, to understand more deeply how you feel about yourself. Venus is in shadow, like I said, so we're going to be revisiting this energy a couple of more times, and just make good choices. I would recommend, as we've discussed, whenever Venus enters shadow, be mindful of cosmetic procedures or massive changes to wardrobe, hair, that type thing. Again, while this may be a very healing week for the circumstances that occur early on, I'm not so sure that I would jump and make a large purchase or make any massive changes. And I am getting really hot, so we are channeling. Let's think, what else do we want to discuss? Got me off kilter here. On Friday, which is the 30th of this week, Neptune officially is going to go retrograde in the sign of Pisces, and Neptune will remain in retrograde until the 16th of December. This is a typical retrograde cycle. Neptune retrograde cycle. So themes surrounding water, flooding, toxicity, disillusion, deceit, these are all themes. And you can expect, while Neptune is in retrograde, that some of those veils are going to be thinned. Some reality is going to come in, that's for sure. Psychic ability can be heightened as well. You may start to get psychic hits, or dreams could be very profound. But any truth revealed can be very life-changing now. There could be a realization that you make, and I love that. I don't mind Neptune retrograde cycles at all. It's a good time to really focus in on the psychic side of things, metaphysics side of things, but it's also a very compassionate energy. Now, with the flooding and the water events, we have seen some pretty significant events relative to water, certainly in the last few days. I expect that and flooding also, some of these issues may become even more prominent, or toxicity as it relates to water could be something that pops out of the blue for us. Also on Friday of this week, Mercury and the Sun are conjunct, I love this too, in the sign of Cancer, is going to trine Saturn, which is retrograde in Pisces, and sextile Jupiter. I really like this energy. It's a great way to wrap up the week. There's no doubt about it. It's very encouraging energy. It is all about taking good care of yourself. So if you find yourself somewhat overwhelmed at some of the actions early in the week, these are times now where we can just take a moment, focus on ourselves, focus on self-care, and really think about breaking the cycle of overcommitting ourselves to our own demise, right? We always want to help, we always want to do, which is again that compassionate energy, but there may be times when we need to take time for ourselves before we take care of everybody else. Yeah, it's very good. This very good grounding energy. It's going to be super easy too because of the sextile and the trine. This may be an easy adjustment that comes as a natural occurrence based on the circumstances early in the week, because sometimes when we have uncomfortableness or some shocking events occur at the end of that, or when you near the end of that, there is some healing that occurs as part of the dynamics of the course of that energy. So for sure this week we're being asked to make adjustments to our ego. If we have areas that in our lives where our egos have kind of run amok, egos aren't a bad thing. They're good to be integrated, but sometimes we have to make an adjustment in that. So given your circumstances, just kind of evaluate the situation. Again, be mindful of impatience, and also check in, make sure when you are operating any machinery, a vehicle, bike, on a motorcycle, doesn't matter, walking down the street, be conscious. Make sure you are conscious and aware of your environment. Please, please, please. No different than a loss of cabin pressure in an airplane. Should that exist, the mask that drops down, you're asked to put it on yourself, then your kids. So we're going to use that same theory this week too. If you find yourself overwhelmed, take good care of yourself, then move on to others. Okay, so let's see what card we pulled this week. First of all, I decided to use the Keepers of the Light. Thought that would be totally appropriate for this week given the circumstances of all of this energy that's swirling around us. It is by Kyle Gray, and the artwork is by Lily Moses. And the card that jumped out today is Isis, and it's called entitled Magic Manifesting. Your dreams, visions, and goals are becoming reality. Stay focused. Here is our extended message. You are moving into a space where your dream reality is becoming your outward reality. This is an extremely powerful time. It is vital to keep focused on the highest good of all. You no longer want to relive your own history and or feel unsupported. Acknowledging where you once were and how you've changed that situation around is a powerful focus of gratitude that will align you with universal abundance. Discipline and commitment are important now. Consider that you are moving between worlds when you daydream or create visions and bring life-enhancing ideas into reality. Magic is manifesting all around you. This is very exciting. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you liked this video, please do click the like button. If you know someone that could be helped by this video, please do co-create with me and send this video to them. If you want to know when videos are being dropped, click the subscribe button and you will know when videos are being dropped. If you would like to leave me a comment or suggestion, please post it in the comments box below. I hope you have a fabulous week. Remember that life happens for us, not to us. Stay grounded, be compassionate, be mindful. Namaste.